Ellery Hanley back to his best after that broken jaw and hamstring problem last season. I wonder, can he add to his 26 tries already? And there is Hanley, perhaps lost a yard of pace in the last 12 months, but still not lost his eye for a gap and his support play. And earlier, Richard Duckingfield spoke to the Leeds boss Doug Lawton about his chances, and to Darrell van der Velde about his team's inconsistency in the big games and his surprising decision announced yesterday to return down under.
Well, that's never been a problem since I've been at Castleford. You know, we can beat the top teams, but you know, as you say, probably our inconsistencies probably let us down a number of times. But you know, this is the most important 80 minutes of football these players will play this year, and as long as they get there and give it their best shot, 100% of their best shot, I can't ask any more.
Cup's always important, but at this time and for Leeds, it's very important, isn't it?
It was important like last year, but we weren't good enough. I mean, at the end of the day, I'll just be glad. I do think the side is a lot better than it was last year. I think we've got a bit of class in the backs. The pack's working hard, and there's not any side got better half packs than we've got, so we should be able to go all the way.
What was it that made you decide to go back to Queensland? What will you be doing there?
I'll be taking over a role of chief executive with the Queensland Crushers. Unfortunately, I would like to stay in coaching, but there wasn't a coaching position open at that point in time. So, you know, I think I've given the best years of my 5 years of my life at Castleford. I think it's time for someone else to come in now and come up with some new ideas and hopefully go and win a championship that I couldn't do.
And Leeds' form in the Challenge Cup in recent seasons hardly impressive, with Headingley proving the bogey ground in 92, 90, 89 and 87 against St Helens, Bradford and Widnes twice. But Castleford also runners-up last season to Wigan, but today's quarter-final tie, the furthest they've travelled along the Wembley Trail for 5 years previous to that. A good window in the final against Hull KR back in '86. And the players coming out there: Southernwood, Morrison, Stedman, St John Ellis, Mike Ford, Nelson, Peter Coyne, all the way from Australia, Dean Sampson and Tawera Nikau, a loose forward we've really got to look out for. Perfect conditions. And the man himself, Ellery Hanley, Craig Innes, Paul Dixon, Mike O'Neill with the headgear, Jim Fallon from Bath, and Andy Goodway and Alan Tate. And last but not least, Gary Schofield, the try-poacher. Bathed in sunshine, but very, very cold there. Kevin Iro, Paul Dixon, Atlandy Gregory, 8 times at Wembley. James Lowes, the bargain buy from Hunslet. Perfect conditions here at Headingley. Ellery Hanley, and very shortly Rugby League will pay its respects to Bobby Moore with a minute's silence. The referee just calling the players together. Big crowd, eager anticipation, very evenly balanced game. But both teams now as Rugby League pays its respects to Bobby Moore. And Leeds giant centre there, number 3, Kevin Iro, recovered from hamstring injury. He takes his place in the midfield alongside ex-All Black Craig Innes. But much depends, I think, on the pace and form of that back three: Dixon, Mercer and Hanley. And Castleford have lost prop Martin Ketteridge there. He's out with a knee injury, but experienced Dean Sampson takes his place in a pack which could prove the equal of the Leeds 6. Referee just Ian Ollerton from Wigan, just going through the formalities with the two skippers there. Ellery Hanley in the blue and yellow on the right hand side, beginning to repay coach Doug Lawton's £250,000 outlay on him. And Lee Crooks, a former Leeds player, used to doing well here at Headingley. Likes to lead from the front, the number 8, Great Britain, Lee Crooks. The referee there, Ian Ollerton, just wants a word with the two of them from Wigan, 40 next month. And now in his 3rd season as a Grade 1 official. And he's just warning the two captains that any lying on at the play of the ball, it will be a penalty immediately. He wants a good open game. And I think, John, on a day like this, we should get one, shouldn't we?
Yeah, I think we'll have a great game, Ray. Andy Gregory, Ellery Hanley, I've had first-hand knowledge of those two players, and their desire and will to win in these big matches is just unbelievable.
And I think it's that desire, it's that will to win that can very often take a side to Wembley, even though they may be lacking in one or two departments. Certainly here is one department Castleford not lacking in, Graham Steadman. Great Britain tour in 1992. And he gets this 3rd round Silk Cup Challenge Cup underway, and a tricky ball for Gregory to catch. A very strong breeze blowing behind Leeds at the moment. And Leeds bringing the ball forward. Strangely, number 5, Irving. Rather strange to see Irving in the midfield there. One would have expected the forwards. Lost the ball already. Lee Crooks, number 8. Castleford using the pack. Steadman, plenty of pace. Testing time here for Leeds. Dean Sampson, replacement on the 92 tour, strong player. Mick Ford, is he looking for a drop? No, the switch to Peter Coyne. Surely obstruction, yes. No hesitation there, referee Ian Ollerton crossing.
Yeah, it was a very poorly run set piece, and Dean Sampson and the players just got in the way, but very poorly rehearsed play.
And play which let Leeds off the hook. Leeds in particularly good form, won their last 8 cup and league matches and beat Castleford on Boxing Day by 40 points to 12, but that doesn't matter. It's what counts here now as number 8 there for Leeds. Big, strong Steve Malloy charging down the middle. Paul Dixon. Good tackle there by Southernwood. Gregory. Ooh, well taken by Alan Tate. Missed by Schofield. Hanley likes to run from the acting half-back position. To Fallon. Strong man, this ex-England B and Bath player from the West Country. Tate, the 6th tackle. Not a bad idea there from Leeds, trying to take Castleford by surprise, John.
Yeah, I think if I had Andy Gregory in my team as a first receiver and he wanted the ball on the 6th tackle, I think I'd give it to him. I think that was the best option.
Kevin Iro. Oh, but Dean Sampson getting away. Good charging run from this lad. Number 10. Dave Nelson. On the Sheffield Eagles wing. Again, we would expect the tackling to be fierce in these early stages. That's a good ball. Check number 3, Tony Smith. St John Ellis. Former amateur rugby league player. Steadman keeping the ball low, and a very tricky ball again for first Gregory and then Alan Tate to take. Really is a strong wind blowing, John.
Yeah, it is, and the Castleford tactics to run into the wind is interesting. They've they obviously want to have a big finish to their game, and they're hoping to hold Leeds early in the game.
Castleford certainly well prepared. They've been away to secret training camp for the past 24 hours. Mike O'Neill.
I think we will see most of this first half played in the Castleford half, though, Ray, with the wind.
Schofield, and there is Gary Schofield using the wind, with Steadman chasing and letting the ball run into touch. Most of these full-backs these days let the ball run into touch, because despite the quality of that kick there from Gary Schofield, it is the opposition's head and ball, so they should take the ball from the scrum. Full-backs not opting to fumble a ball and give possession away. Just £1. Irrelevancy really between the two packs. Not the two biggest packs in rugby league, but possibly two of the most mobile. Good tackle there by Craig Innes on St John Ellis. Crooks, and a high tackle for Gary Mercer, number 12, the Kiwi.
And an extra 10, Ray, for a little bit of back chat to the referee. If here we see the tackle here, he's up a little bit high. There's not a lot of danger in that tackle, but the referee deemed it to be a high tackle.
Yes, it doesn't have to be a deliberate tackle now. It can be accidental, careless, or what. If it's above the shoulders, it's a high tackle and a penalty. And again, the penalty to Castleford. Mr. Ollerton, as I said earlier, he was warning the players about getting away from the play the ball. He wants a good, quick play the ball. He didn't get it there again, and so Castleford, well, they've come 60 yards downfield with 2 penalty kicks. Good charge again. Started well as Dean Sampson. Crooks. 2 powerful props, Crooks and Sampson, taking some holding around the play the ball. To Ford. Short ball to Morrison. Good tackle again there by number 12, Gary Mercer. And the switch to Steadman. That's a good long ball to Grant Anderson. Anderson, can he get the ball away? No, he doesn't. Just 10 metres here. Castleford. Now then, this should be interesting. Anderson to pass, or put the little chip kick through. Dangerous! No! Well done by Graham Steadman. You can kick the ball forward, you don't have to play it backwards. He went for the try. Adventurous play.
Yeah, Steadman takes the option to kick the ball forward, play the ball forward. He kicks it into the end goal, and it's a close race. Leeds just knocked it dead, which gives them a goal line dropout. So Castleford will get the ball again and be in another attacking position.
Nickau, first real touch of the ball. This Kiwi, one of the men I think we can expect to see at Wembley for the first test when New Zealand tour here in the autumn. Crooks. Already Crooks leading from the front. Again, little trouble with his mate, Gary Schofield. Graham Southernwood. Oh, good break by Southernwood. He's got Sampson with him. What a fine opening this prop forward's having, number 10, Dean Sampson. Coyne looks for Nickau, likes to play there out wide. He's got Smith with him. Oh, well, I thought he'd lost the ball. Fisher on the outside to St John Ellis. No, he's in touch. He's in touch. Touch judge, Mr. Tony Brown. Right on the spot. But again, quick thinking, John, from Castleford.
Yeah, both of these teams, Ray, play a very compressed defence, which means their wingers are off the sidelines. And they nearly paid the price, Leeds, with their winger being in field.
Leeds head and ball. Well, a switch around, a strike against the head. Castleford still keeping that pressure to Morrison. Good strong run by this number 11. Tony Morrison, signed from Swinton earlier this season, but still Castleford with the pressure. Southernwood. Anderson. Coyne and Mick Ford moving this ball well. Now then, Castleford, they've got an overlap here. Nick Howe, he's got Tony Smith with him. He's got Ellis going for the corner. Oh no, he's touch again. Mr. Brown, a signal touching goal. Well, twice in the space of 60 seconds. Castleford have pressed on that right wing and Leeds have looked vulnerable.
Yeah, very poor play from Ellis here. St John Ellis, he's given the space on the outside and looked all right on the replay, Ray. I thought looked like a fair try, but the referee's got to make that decision.
Well, it certainly did. It was given touch and goal. Those are things that take you to Wembley or keep you off the trail.
That last decision, Ray, with the missed try was a decision that the linesman made, and he told the referee that he's in charge of the sideline, and he said that the player lost the ball over the line. So it wasn't really the referee's decision; it was a decision from the linesman.
So Gregory to Jim Fallon, big 15-stone wing. This man Fallon had a little hamstring trouble in recent weeks. Malloy to Mike O'Neill. Mike O'Neill, 5 Wembley appearances between 79 and 84 with Widnes, so plenty of experience there. And here's one with experience, Andy Gregory. 8 appearances at Wembley. Schofield looks for Iro, finds O'Neill. Good tackle. Good tackle by Grant Anderson. Just 10 minutes gone. Steve Malloy. Now then, I'm sure a kick. No, Hanley going himself. Now I think that came off. It appeared to do so. It came off a Castleford man. So that should be head and ball to Leeds.
Yeah, Ellery puts the ball on the ground there and just kicks it along, and it does deflect off a Castleford player, which gives Leeds the feed and the loose head. They should win the scrum. I notice, you'd be looking for somebody like Kevin Iro to make a bit of a hole here.
Well, the ball not really reached Kevin Iro in the centres there yet. Let's see if it gets there now. There it is, Iro. Oh, the dummy from Schofield to Irving. Mr. Ollerton is playing waving play on. He says the ball went back, but it's in touch. Well, on the wing there, Simon Irving, I think, would have been better to have kept out 4 to 5 yards further out. The pass was lofted, it was taken by the wind, he couldn't hold it.
Yeah, Gary Schofield on a nice little run around there, finds a hole, throws a long ball over the top, which the winger can't handle.
Castleford in possession. Peter Coyne from St George in Sydney. Dean Sampson, number 10 for Castleford, getting through a lot of work, John.
Yeah, he's carrying the ball forward very strongly, and Steve Malloy and, I'm sure that there'll be an interesting battle there between the 2 big front rowers.
And a little battle there between James Lowe, number 9, who's not the biggest of players. Not many people tangle with that Castleford skipper, number 8, Lee Crooks. But the penalty given.
Yeah, forward pass there to Lee Crooks, and as well as a forward patch which resulted in a scrum, Castleford players have had something to say about it, and the referees penalise them, which makes it a kickable situation, and Leeds could get 2 points.
And Simon Irving certainly got the win behind him. This former Headingley player, just half a mile down the road here from the Leeds Professional Club. Just recently broken back into the first team and taken over the goal-kicking duties. 29 so far. Good stiff breeze behind him, and he uses it well. It's 2 points. So that little bit of back chat from Castleford. giving Leeds the penalty chance. And after 13 minutes, 2 points to nil. 26 next month.
Yeah, it's a short ball here from Mick Ford. It's a forward pass to Lee Crooks. There was a scrum. Scrum should have been the result, but somebody had something to say, and it was a penalty.
I think Lee Crooks, John, was protesting about the high tackle.
Well, he could have been, Ray.
Mr. Ollerton again instructing Nick how to get up from the play of the ball. James Lowe, signed from Hunslet earlier this season, number 9. Started as a scrum half, moved to hooker by Doug Lawton. Gary Mercer. And Leeds using the movement from the acting half-back. Gregory. To O'Neill. And a punch has gone in there. It's getting very, very fiery as this match. Tony Brown, the touch judge, spotted something immediately. Referee, Mr. Ollerton, telling the players to calm down.
Lee Crooks and Mike O'Neill there in a... it was a high challenge, and the referee and the linesman, it was quite obvious to both of those, and you know, you get your penalty. Here's a high tackle here. If you could, there's an arm over the top of the shoulder there, and then a swinging arm as well by Andy Fisher. So one of the reasons that you play into the wind is you wanted not to give away any penalties, and Castleford have been guilty of giving away a few penalties, which gives Leeds the ball in their half.
And here are Leeds again. Just 15 minutes gone in this first half. Leeds 2 points to nil. Oh, and that looked a high tackle. The crowd, the Leeds continued especially roaring about it, but play on, says Mr. Ollerton. Gregory. Schofield. Gary Schofield, good hand off there. Iro. 16-stone centre. Not many defences like to see him pounding down the flanks. Gregory again, directing operations here at first receiver. Oh, good ball to Alan Tate, but lost. And well picked up there. Alan Tate acknowledging the mistake.
Yeah, that was a little bit of Gregory magic there, and you've just got to take those chances in the big games. It should have been 6 points if Alan Tate was able to catch the ball.
Castleford holding this ball, settling it down. Well, they were until Lee Crooks got hold of it. Peter Coyne tries to get Tony Smith working. Prolific try scorer this season, this youngster Tony Smith, who's moving to centre, 18. Good ball to St. John Ellis. Tate in a good position. But again, a good tackle from Peter Coyne. Irving.
Yeah, there's not a lot in the possession or the territory. The game's fairly even at the moment, with Leeds not making a lot of use of their little bit of field advantage.
Oh, good strong run by Paul Dixon, the Great Britain forward. Gregory again. Iro. And the 5th tackle. Hanley. Leeds significantly, John, on every kick so far, it's been a little grubber kick to the side. They're not putting a high ball in this wind, are they?
Well, I think if you just put a high ball up, Ray, I think the chances of it going out of the park are great. So they've elected to kick the ball along the ground.
And Richard down there on the bench.
It's on the Castleford bench, Ray, and such is the pace, I think, such is the aggression of this game now, that the word has come down from Darryl van der Velde, the Castleford coach, that both the substitutes should warm up, so that Paul Fletcher and Keith England are both on the touchline warming themselves now. And interesting to see the sun dropping over one side of the ground, and if it doesn't cloud over, it's going to be in the eyes of the Leeds players in the second half, Ray.
Well, they have the wind in this half. Coyne, noted for his kicks down under in Australia. And that's why Darrell van der Velde brought him to Weldon Road. Jim Fallon.
I think another thing, Ray, I think Castleford have had a look at the Leeds fixture list over the last month, and they've said, well, they've played against Barrow, Rochdale, they've had a week off last week, so they haven't had a real tough month. So I think if they feel if they can hold them fairly close in the first half, then they should be able to come home strong.
Gary Mercer. No way through this Castleford defence at the moment. Annie Gregory, good switch to Tate. And significantly they're kicking the ball to St John Ellis, who had to shade his eyes from the sun, John.
Yeah, that's the side to kick the ball, put a little bit of pressure on the catcher and make him look up into the sun.
Graham Steadman. Darrell van der Velde looking for success in his final season. Oh, good dummy, but caught by Mike O'Neill around the collar. Nick Howe. Oh, almost interception, but Nick Howe did well to hold on. Look for the support. Good ball handler, this Kiwi loose forward from Huntley in New Zealand. Crooks, oh, superb ball from Crooks to Southernwood. He gets it out to Tony Smith, to St John Ellis. Good cover by Leeds. And the last tackle. Forward. And that roll dead. Good kick. And Mike Ford, very promising kick there from Mick Ford. He does at least get a drop out.
Yeah, the referee's signalling the blood bin, Ray. Mick Ford's got a little bit of blood coming out of his mouth, and the referee's picked it up.
And it's also, I think, Lee Crooks as well, John, who seems to be bleeding around the face. And there is Lee Crooks going off into the blood bin. He'll either be washed down or stitched. And I've no doubt that very shortly we'll see Keith England coming on the field.
Not a bad time to make a forced substitute either, Ray. So although we don't like to see players go off injured, it's Keith England's been able to come on the field nice and fresh.
Certainly not a man as hard and tough as Lee Crooks. He's not one player to go off the field unless he absolutely has to do. And there is Keith England, the former Great Britain forward, number 15 for Castleford. Southernwood. Good ball to Anderson, the dummy. Leeds looking vulnerable on these wings. To Nick Howe. Castleford not afraid to spread the ball around. Southernwood. Back to Mick Ford. Steadman. Oh, good tackle. Very good tackle there by James Lowes. That stopped the movement. Castleford again still moving that ball out wide. Good kick. Oh, Schofield's missed it. He's got it back. But still the pressure remains on this Leeds side. Still they're forced to drop out beneath the post. And Lee Crooks, quick, wanting to get back into the fray.
That's the quickest visit to the doctor I've ever seen. He didn't spend any time in the waiting room, did he?
So Gary Schofield retrieved the situation, and Crooks back in the action. Coyne. Graham Steadman linking up considerably. Very pacey player, this number 1 for Castleford. Tony Morrison. To Anderson, knock on. And Richard down there on the bench, any news?
On the Castleford bench with Bernadette Scatchard, the Castleford physio. That was a very quick trip to the doctor, it was described, for Lee Crooks. Nasty cut on the head?
No, it was only his minor cut, really. There was no really reason to bring him off. I think it was just the referee took precaution. He went straight back on, there's no problems with him.
So Keith England didn't get warmed up. Thanks, Bernadette.
Well, no time to warm up for Keith England, and no time to reply back there for David Nelson, the Castleford wing. Mr. Ollerton are judging that he punched the ball out of the Leeds man's grasp.
Yeah, they withstood quite a bit of pressure there, Ray. They had a couple of lots of sixes on the Leeds line, Castleford, and they couldn't come up with any points.
Malloy, former Warrington player, got an international cap for England this season, and still that one penalty goal from Simon Irving, the difference, 2 points to 0. Gregory looking for the little dummy runs to Craig Innes. Been a huge success, this number 4, since signing from the All Blacks World Cup team.
All right, get out of it! Get out of it, lad! Let go, 12.
Schofield again to Hanley. Oh, good pass from Hanley. It's still Paul Dixon. Well taken. Fallon's got a chance here. Nelson. Oh, he's strong. He's in. Yes! Jim Fallon used every ounce of his weight. 15 stone, this man at his best. The former Bath player, he probably never scored a more important try than that. His 10th this season, and that took real power, that took real strength. He went for the corner, nothing was going to stop him, and nothing did. Jim Fallon.
Yeah, Paul Dixon got a nice ball here off Ellery, throws a long ball over the top to Jim Fallon. He's got the winger to beat. The missed tackle there from David Nelson, and you know, you just can't miss those tackles one-on-one when you're close to the try line on a player that's got the pace that Jim Fallon's got. And here we see the tackle from number 5.
Did well to get in there, John, didn't he?
Yeah, he did very well, Ray. Good try.
So, a difficult kick for Simon Irving, right out here on this touchline, and of course he's got to judge that wind. It is favourable to him. Aiming to curl it in. Just across the face of the post. So, just the Fallon try, no conversion, and the score 6 points to 0 for Leeds.
Here we see Ellery pushing to the outside, gets out of a tackle there, but he gets a good ball back inside to Dixon. Now Dixon pins his ears back, goes for broke, and if we can just hold it up there, we can see the winger in here. There's 10 yards from here to the sideline, and he comes across. It's a missed tackle on the outside. Now there's no room there at all if you roll it on. No room at all, and it's a missed tackle. Good speed from the winger, good determination, and he gets in the corner.
Nicow picks up well. Castleford needs to reply quickly. Fisher. Still Sampson coming forward. Certainly Castleford getting plenty of work out of this prop forward. And this other one, Lee Crooks. Castleford know the urgency of a quick reply. Forward. Good long ball to Nicow, hanging out dangerously here, can't get the ball away. Good tackle again by Craig Innes. And he had a marker. Nicow playing the ball to himself when there was a marker in front of him. You can't do that.
Yeah, a little hard done by, I thought, Ray. I thought the mark was very slow coming into the directly in front of him position, and Nicow took the odds, played the ball forward. The referee deemed him to have somebody in front of him.
One could almost say that Craig Innes was offside there, John.
Yeah, I thought it was a tough decision.
Steve Malloy. Doug Lawton, the Leeds coach, played 5 times himself at Wembley. Good ball from Schofield. Both Schofield and Andy Gregory bringing these forwards through on the short passes. Alan Tate. But of course, John, I think Leeds must have some points on the board with this win behind them.
Yeah, you'd want to have some points on the board at half-time, but they're going all right at the moment, and they're playing good field position, kicking the ball okay, and at 6-0 they look all right.
Good kick there from Gary Schofield. Paul Anderson, local youngster, warming up, coming on for Mike O'Neill, but not just yet. David Nelson for Castleford. Andy Fisher. Cup deadline signing from local neighbours Featherstone Rovers, that number 12. Lee Crooks. Former Leeds player Lee Crooks. Smith. Craig Innes keeping a very close eye on Tony Smith. Scored plenty of tries this season since moving into the centre position. This Leeds defence has improved rapidly this season, John.
Yeah, well, if you're gonna play with the big boys, you've got to have good defence, and Leeds had a problem in that area early in the season, and they weren't winning any games. And since their defence has improved, well, they've been winning their games, and they've looked like a decent side.
Good kick and good cover there from Castleford, the chasers. Jim Fallon looking for more action, coming infield. Richard down there on the bench.
Yes, on the Leeds bench, Ray, although Leeds are in front, they're not entirely happy with the way that the team is playing. That Dougie Lawton, Gary Stevens, his assistant, and Andy Goodway have all been deep in conversation, still are now and again, and they clearly, although they've got this slight cushion in front of them, they're not particularly comfortable about it, Ray.
I think the problem may be, Richard, they're not moving this ball as fluently as what Castleford have been doing on a number of occasions. But that's a good burst there by Ellery Hanley. They've got to really make advantage of this wind in this half. Schofield, Iro, just 10 minutes left in this first half to take advantage. Oh, well picked up by Fallon, but he's in touch. Just put a foot in touch. Quickly spotted by Mr. Molyneux. Leeds still trying to make a substitute of Anderson for O'Neill. Coyne, good break. Oh, a good break by Peter Coyne. He's not got the legs to go himself, but looks for support. Oh, he should have given it to Mike Ford, surely. Back to Nickow. Leeds covers back there though now. Well, that, John, was a chance, went begging, didn't it?
Yeah, it certainly was. I think one of the problems Peter Coyne's got, he hasn't got any pace, and we saw him make a clear break there. He had a clear under the line, but he couldn't go on with it. And he's a great handler of the ball. Got a good kicking game. He can follow instructions, and but just didn't have the pace to go on with it.
Eddie Mercer. Castleford losing 28 points to 12 at Wembley last season to Wigan. 4 times winners of this Silk Cup Challenge Cup. Gregory to Hanley. Would you say Ellery Hanley though, John, playing a different type of game these days to when you had him at Wigan?
Well, I think Ellery can adapt his game and do whatever's required. If it's advance the football, hit the advantage line, get the ball forward like a front rower, he can do that. If it's skip out of a tackle and get out wide and put it back away, he can do that. I've got plenty of admiration for Ellery Hanley, and he's a first-class rugby league player.
And there he is with his defence. Usually puts in a considerable number of tackles. Number 13, Ellery Hanley, but penalised for interfering. Mr. Ollerton says to him, don't think you're getting away with it. And he doesn't.
Say something good about a player and then they give away a penalty, but Ellery's holding down here. He's holding down in the tackle. He pushes the player back down a second time, and there's a penalty there.
And Paul Anderson finally on the field. Good run there by Graham Steadman.
Graham Steadman could be one player that can turn this game around for Castleford. He's a great attacking player, good speed, steps off both feet, and I'd be looking to Graham Steadman.
Ford spotted the gap, but Hanley closed it. Still this wind sweeping down into Castleford's faces. Nickau. On forward, certainly Leeds can't let go. Can run like a centre three-quarter, number 13. Forward. And number 6 there, Peter Coyne. Forward again at the hub of things, directing operations. Crooks, good pass to St John Ellis. But he loses it, and just look who's there, Ellery Hanley covering back. Tate, sensible play by Alan Tate. And just look at that possession there, John, 58% for Castleford, and yet trailing by 6 points to 0.
Yeah, they've had to have that sort of possession to stay in the game though, Ray. As we said, with the wind blowing down the field favouring Leeds, for Castleford to stay close, they had to have the major share of possession, and they've done that, and they're I don't think they'll be that unhappy if they can get in at half-time at 6-0.
And of course you do tend to pick up the possession if the opposition are kicking the ball to you. Simon Irving, the Leeds wing, just dashed off the field with a cut to the eye, and coming on, Andy Goodway.
New role for Andy Goodway, he's on the wing.
I think I've actually, John, seen him on the wing once before, coming on as a substitute many years ago. But nevertheless, Gary Mercer. A lot of these forwards now are adaptable people, like Mercer, number 12 there, played in the centres. Schofield. Good pass, and here's Mercer again, going for the gap himself. Quickly sealed by both Crooks and Anderson.
Very good speed for a second rower, Gary Mercer. He used to play in the back line, and he has got very good pace.
Tate. Castleford's defensive system really coping well. And there is Andy Goodway. Oh, that's a good kick. Graham Steadman's underneath it. Superbly judged by Steadman. The ball blowing into him. Nelson. Just 5 minutes left in this first half. Leeds just with that Irving penalty goal and the Jim Fallon try, 6 points to 0. Southernwood.
Dean Sampson does continue to take the ball forward, doesn't he, for Castleford, and he seems to be able to pick up 10 yards each ruck.
Graham Steadman. Oh, straight out. Only just, but it's all the way back. Graham Steadman having trouble judging that wind.
Yeah, very poor kick, Ray, that close to half-time. It gives Leeds another attacking chance when they're in the opposition's 22 or 20 metre. They'll get down there and they'll have one more chance to score a try before half-time.
There the ball, of course, turned over on the 6th tackle when the ball goes directly into touch. Might it be worth a drop goal, do you think, just before half-time, John? Well, an injury there. It looks a serious injury, possibly a knock to the head. It looks like Peter Coyne, number 6 here. Oh yes, he got a bad clash with Lee Crooks' head. Let's hope that's not too serious. Well, he's come round. I think one or two players felt that he may have swallowed his tongue, John. We've had that in the past, haven't we?
Yeah, he looks okay just looking at him here. He looks all right. He's back with us, and being a coach, I've had a look straight at the Leeds side. They've used the time to organise something, and it looks like they're going to put a set play on.
Oh, he's really groggy. The poor lad just doesn't know where he is. He took a terrible knock accidentally from his own skipper's head, Lee Crooks. Darrell van der Velde sending instructions down, no doubt, to John Joyner, his assistant coach on the bench.
Yeah, I'm sure this close to half-time, Ray. I'm sure they'll replace him and use their substitute, and they'll bring Paul Fletcher on.
Well, he's certainly groggy. Sad to see Peter Coyne going off like that.
Yeah, here we see Coyne coming in and The head clash comes from Lee Crooks coming from the other side of the ruck.
Just on the forehead, John, too, the worst spot.
Watch for a little set piece now off Leeds, but they've just blown it. They've lost the ball. First tackle.
Paul Fletcher, the substitute. Well, and there is some indiscipline if ever we needed it. Paul Anderson, the Leeds substitute, was talking out of place, and then he gave back chat to the referee, and he's cost his side, what, 40 yards, John, with this kick?
Well, I think he's cost them a chance of scoring just before half-time, which is more important. A young player, inexperienced, and he's shown it then.
Richard, any news down there?
Yes, as you noticed, they took Peter Coyne straight into the dressing room. The doctor's gone with him, and so has the Leeds physio, so that the Castleford physio can stay on the bench. So you've seen the rearrangement of the team. Paul Fletcher has gone to fullback, and Graham Steadman up into the number 6 position, Ray.
And there is Grant Anderson. Graham Southernwood. So it's Castleford pressing then as we near the half-time. Ford to Nick Howe. Oh, good break from Nick Howe. Oh, he's got him inside him, and there is Mike Ford. It's a try. Mike Ford, number 7 for Castleford. Support play supreme there, and dare I say it, but that chance all came from the indiscipline of the Leeds substitute. He sent them back 40 yards. Castleford used the ball to good effect, and Ford's brought them back in the game, much to the delight of those Castleford fans.
Yeah, they were going to go to the right here, and the hooker sees that there's not much doing. They move the ball back to Mick Ford. Comes on to Nick Howe. Now, the Leeds cover is all chasing very hard across the field. And because they chase so hard, it just opened things up on the inside, and Mick Ford in to score a nice try.
Whenever Nick Howe gets the ball out wide, there's always panic in the ranks. People have got to close him down. He has such speed himself to go through, and very often he just causes a gap by his very presence. Lee Crooks, 85 goals, joined Castleford from Leeds for £150,000 and been good value to Castleford. Looking to draw level with this kick. He does, it's straight between the posts. So Castleford then drawing level here now, 6 points each, and I'm sure they'll be pleased with that, John, against this wind.
I'm sure they'll be very happy going in at a 6-all. Their 40 minutes is up, and if they can go in at 6-all, they'll be a very happy side. Yeah, there's nothing on out that side, so they switch the ball back. They've been attacking down this left side all the game. Now, as you see, the cover coming across very hard. Lots of people pushing across, which opens it up on the inside. 6-all at half-time. Very happy Castleford.
Yes, very happy Castleford, but I think both teams with plenty to do in the next 40 minutes. They've both shown they have that attacking ability, but defence is on top so far. As they progress, I think the gaps will come. Good half, good first half, but I think, John, a lot better to come in the second half.
Yeah, I think Castleford would be very happy going in at half-time. Now, Leeds have got a lot of hard work to do, and like I said, they haven't had a very tough month. They've had a week off, couple of second division sides, and they might be looking for some petrol late in the game.
So, all to play for.
Yeah, that try sets up a tight and passionate Yorkshire derby. Leeds and Castleford, Silk Cut Challenge Cup, third round. 6 points apiece, with Castleford getting that important try just before half-time. It's going to be a fascinating second half. Enjoy it with John Money and Ray French.
Well, the intense cold hasn't stopped those Castleford fans from jumping up and down, probably trying to keep themselves warm. But I think Castleford players here, Southernwood, Morrison and Fisher, will be very, very delighted with that last try from Ford in those closing minutes. And this was the try. Mike Ford. Good support play, following toward Nick Howe, and I think those Leeds players there, Jim Fallon, now realise what a cup tie is all about. Certainly Kevin Iro, the big Kiwi has been in a few of these, and Leeds coach Doug Lawton coming out there. He'll be looking for Iro to make one or two of those runs. Not many handling errors, John, for such a cold day.
No, they've handled the ball very well, and there hasn't been a lot of errors in the game.
Well, those fans having to contend with the cold, and also I think the snow, which is now beginning to swirl around here at Headingley. Snow clouds looming and coming across, and the fans moving underneath the south stand to escape them. But that's what cup ties are all about. Gary Schofield to kick off. 40 minutes to decide who will go into the draw on Monday for the semi-finals. Castleford 6, Leeds 6. And number 5 there we see just going out of shot, Simon Irving back on the field. Nickow. Ooh, tremendous tackle there from Gary Mercer. Rocked Nickow back. And there is Simon Irving with his head heavily bandaged.
Tremendous contact in that tackle, a completely legitimate tackle, and a good defence from Leeds to start the second half. But we've seen the Castleford tactics, a long kick downfield, and also notice that Coyne hasn't come back out after half time.
No, Graham Steadman still in that standoff position. Simon Irving. Richard, any news there after the interval?
Yeah, it's just the injury news really. It was 6 stitches for Simon Irving of Leeds, and the doctor is still with Peter Coyne of Castleford, although Peter Coyne, I believe, might come back on in a real emergency, Ray.
Well, let's hope they don't have any real emergencies, and Peter Coyne can possibly take a good rest.
Yeah, and there's that run from Kevin Iro that we were talking about before. He's just opened the second half up with a good 40-metre run, and you know they'll be looking for more from Kevin Iro in this half.
And from this man too, I think, Craig Innes. One of the advantages, John, again, of playing in the wind, you can run onto your passes better, can't you?
Yeah, it does improve your handling, and they've got to do something with the wind. Castleford, it's not just enough to say, oh yeah, we've got the wind behind us, but you've got to make good use of that wind.
Leeds. Let's see how they make use of this now on the 5th tackle. Schofield, now then, he is using that wind, it's hovering. Oh, it's picked up by Irving, but I'm sure he would have been, well, he was not going to be given offside. Referee, Mr. Ollerton, just gives the knock-on. And on the 5th tackle, knock-on, ball handed to the opposition.
Yeah, it's not just enough to rely on the wind to get you down the other end of the field. You've still got to play some good rugby league, and this is what we'll be looking for from Castleford. They've still got to, they can't close up shop and say, yeah, we're just going to rely on our kicking game. They need to do something, play some good rugby league. And
the snow really coming down here now at Headingley. Very, very difficult for these players. Mike Ford. And that's what they have to contend with. Steadman. Oh, a good kick, a testing kick. Superb effort there from Graham Steadman. He lofted that ball. 60, 65 yards. Takes play down to the Leeds 20-metre line.
This is going to be the problem that Leeds have got every time they get down that end of the field and Castleford get it back. They're going to play a bit of rugby league and then stick the ball in the air, which results in them being back in the Leeds half. And if Leeds have had an easy month and they haven't done a lot of training, they're going to do it tough, Ray.
Irving. This is the weather that sorts the men from the boys. And the snow really in Leeds' faces. And Leeds, of course, having to carry this ball. Very, very difficult to kick against this wind and the driving snow. They've got to move it. Schofield. Good ball to Mercer. Oh, picked up well by Craig Innes. Schofield again. Gregory. Not really finding any gaps out wide in these Castleford ranks, are they, John?
No, they're not. Castleford defence is very good at the moment. They had a little bit of luck, Leeds, on that last lot of 6, and they've just been caught here with a handover.
Jim Fallon trying to get the ball back in field. And the turnover. Fallon adjudged to have stepped in touch on that 6 tackle, so the turnover. Sampson shrugs off one man. Only came in this morning for the injured Martin Ketteridge. Andy Fisher.
It's a good sign when a player's been out a long while and hasn't been able to get into the team, and then he comes out and plays very well in his first game back.
I think we saw something of the power of that win there, the ball being taken away from Lee Crooks' grasp. Ellery Hanley. Leeds need a flash of this man's inspiration now. Still, no handling errors. Innes. Good ball to Irving, that was a good ball! He's got Tate inside him! And it's touch. Good cover tackle there by number 3 for Castleford, Tony Smith. Head and ball to Castleford. Gary Schofield, number 6 for Leeds, doesn't like it.
Yeah, he just had too much pace here and looked like he was going to get on the outside of Sinjanellis. A good ball back inside to Tate. Now the ruling here is that Tate's been tackled into touch. The Leeds players complained that they felt he'd pulled the player over the sideline.
But that, I think, is what Leeds have got to do. It's Castleford in the driving seat here with the kicking. Another good tackle again there by Gary Mercer. Castleford can always get away from this line with one kick. Leeds have got to run. Nickow, the tackling, fierce now. Suddenly the tempo moves up. Southernwood. Crashes into 4 or 5 Leeds men. Now, here's the kick. And just look at it. Right to the other end of the pitch. Good kick by Stedman. Alan Tate. Paul Anderson. These Leeds forwards have to get through a lot of work. Paul Dixon. Good tackle again by the 2 prop forwards, Sampson and Crooks. Castleford moving in very, very quickly on the outsides, John.
They are. They play a compressed line of defence and they slide well when they've got to slide well, but they've closed things down pretty well. So far, so good for Castleford.
Schofield. Oh, almost an interception there from Fisher. I thought Gary Schofield there for Leeds was going to put the little chip over the top and have a go himself, but good effort from Fisher.
Well, it's a 6 tackle here, and they just gave Gary Schofield too much room. They presumed that he was going to kick the ball straight away, which Schofield won't do. Schofield will take whatever you give to him. They gave him plenty of room on that occasion.
No room on this occasion from number 4, Grant Anderson. Gregory, Fallon. Getting through a lot of work is this former Bath wing. Mercer. Good pass to Irving. Forced to come inside. Just look at that Castleford cover there. 4 men around Simon Irving. That's good defence. Malloy. Still Leeds coming forward. Schofield can't get through. Gets it to Gregory. Little Gregory gets away. Not too far. The 5th tackle.
I think they'll kick this ball as high as they possibly can.
Well, that wasn't a good kick, John, was it?
It's a poor kick.
I mean, I would think really, John, they should be putting this ball as high as you say and flighting it into the wind.
I'd be sticking it up there and bring it down with plenty of snow on it.
Tony Morrison. But ripping the ball out. Paul Dixon being adjudged to have ripped the ball out. Well, Castleford have been penalised before. No, it's Steve Malloy. Well, Paul Dixon's in there, and I think it was Paul Dixon, but it's Leeds in possession. Irving, good tackle again by Nick Howe. And even the referee complimented him. Leeds on the attack. Gary Mercer. Castleford now really having to defend. Gregory looks for Hanley, finds Schofield. They've got an overlap on this outside here. Kevin Iro. Allen in touch.
Gee, both teams are playing, you know, they've come out in this second half, and I wouldn't say either side has played very well. There's been a lot of errors, a lot of over the sideline stuff, and a lot of panic football.
Really, Kevin Iro ran Fallon into touch there, didn't he? The snow coming down harder here at Headingley. 10 minutes gone in this second half. Still all square, 6 points each. Referee shouting at the players to get up, get the ball played quickly. Oh, poor Graham Sutherland there, the Castleford hooker, just took his eye momentarily off the ball, and in a difficult spot.
Yeah, they've come out without their heads. I think Castleford, they're just not using any brains at all.
Schofield, plenty of cover on Gary Schofield. Great Britain skipper. Innes. James Lowes. Ex-half-back is number 9. Gary Mercer. Good run. Leeds edging nearer. Good short ball to Malloy. That was a good pass from Andy Gregory. 5 metres there from the line. And the 5th tackle. Is it worth the drop kick? Gregory, little chip, he's going for it. Oh, it's just flicked back by Lee Crooks there and covered by the substitute Paul Fletcher, but good effort again there from Andy Gregory.
Yeah, there's not a player in the game that you'd prefer to have the ball go to than Andy Gregory in that sort of situation, and he sums things up pretty well and puts a kick through.
But well covered by Lee Crooks. Leeds in possession again, Alan Tate. Desperately trying to prise open this Castleford defence. Wonderful defensive display from Castleford. Paul Anderson. Gregory, Dixon. 3 more tackles to go in this sequence. Gregory again coming more and more into this play. Good pass to James Lowes. Still Gregory again. Oh, well, he spotted the gap, but he didn't quite see the Castleford defender there, Tony Morrison. The 5th tackle. Hanley going himself. Hang a hint of desperation in the Leeds play there, John.
Yeah, there is, but Castleford keep turning the ball over in their own 22, and like I say, they've just come out without their heads on, and they're playing very poorly, and they're giving Leeds an opportunity to score a try, and if they stay down there long enough with the quality of players that Leeds have got, they'll score a try on them.
Well, this is the time for experience. It's the time for the men who have seen it all and done it all, who've been to Wembley, to settle the youngsters down. The heel, Schofield to Iro, looking to the big man to punch a hole down the middle. 5 tackles then to Leeds. Schofield again. Hanley. No way through. Tackle around the legs there from Mike Ford. Malloy. Still Leeds pound nearer to that Castleford line. 6 points each. Gregory again. The short ball to Anderson. Oh, it's gone. Picked up easily by Fletcher. And the chance goes again. Ford sensibly bringing the ball away from the acting half-back position, taking it to the blind side, clearing the danger. Crooks. Good, strong run there by Nicholl. And Castleford weathered the storm, I think, John.
Yeah, well, they might have, Ray, but they've just got to be a little bit smarter, haven't they? They've got to play a little bit of rugby league. They're doing a lot of one-out stuff, and, you know, just the kick on itself is not going to win the game for them. They've got to play some rugby league.
Iro to Fallon. Almost through, but not quite. Gregory to Dixon. But again, Leeds failing to really pierce this Castleford defence. Schofield, does he want the chip? Oh, he does, but well covered by David Nelson. And good run by Schofield and Hanley. But good cover there by the Castleford wing. And I think that was needed by Schofield, John, to break up the play.
Yeah, well, they're not playing any second line of defence. They're just playing 11 players straight across the field, 12 players straight across the field. And there is a chip on.
Nicholl. To Mike Ford, gaining valuable ground on this blind side. St. John Ellis. Doesn't shake off Craig Innes. Steadman, the kick again. 1-1. Tate and Fallon are there. Tate makes the break. He's got pace as this former Scottish fullback. And a penalty against Graham Steadman, leaning on it. He played the ball. Ellery Hanley quickly taken. Leeds wanted to get on with the game. Anderson, good strong burst now by this youngster. A penalty surely. A penalty against Tuera Nicholl. Mr. Ollerton jumped in very, very quickly. High tackle. Anderson goes down. Nicholl not very happy with it. Now the problem, I think, John, for Simon Irving is that under normal conditions it wouldn't be all that difficult of a kick, but well, we haven't got normal conditions here today, have we?
No, I think it's a tough kick for him, but you'd take the 2 though. You'd go for the 2 if you had any sort of confidence in your kicker.
So Simon Irving then. It's 35 metres out. It's in front of the posts, but he's got to kick into the teeth of this wind, and he's got to judge the wind as well.
I think the chase on this kick will be very important too if it doesn't reach.
And it doesn't reach. Picked up by substitute Paul Fletcher.
And the chase wasn't very good, Ray. The kick was from 40 metres out, and they brought the ball back 30 metres, so that might be just showing a little bit of tiredness in the lead side.
And Richard down there.
Yes, Ray, John Joyner, the Castleford assistant coach, has sent a message on. He's not at all happy with the way Castleford are responding early in the second half. He's told them to tighten up on their discipline. They're giving too much away, and he's also told them to tighten up on the ball control. I think he's echoing the criticism, if you like, of Castleford that John Money was making earlier, Ray.
Yes, perhaps a little frustration creeping in. A good sidestep there from Graham Steadman. A head high one. Castleford players, of course, have got to keep 10 yards away from the ball until Steadman arrives there. There he is, number 1 for Cass. Gregory to Dixon. I can only recall one break by Leeds, and that's the one in the first half by Gary Schofield there, John.
Yeah, they appear to play better in their own half. They, they tighten up a little bit when they get down near the try line, and with so many experienced players, that is a little bit strange.
And there is a break. Oh, good pass by Craig Innes. Well, there was a break, but good cover again by Andy Fisher. A lot of work from that second row, but it still leads now on the attack. It's the long passes. Gregory to Tate. There's an overlap here. Good ball inside to Paul Dixon. Oh, he's got Fallon outside him. Oh, he's going for that line. He's got it down, I think. Yes! Jim Fallon, his second try of the game. It took strength, it took determination, but it was a beautiful series of passes in midfield that launched the ex-Bath wingman, and his size and his strength took him over there. 10 points to 6 for Leeds, and all the pressure finally pays off. Superb effort, John.
Yeah, good effort. A long-range try too. It came from back near the halfway, and Fallon showed good speed here and good strength to get over the line. Pulled him down a little short, but his momentum took him over. You see a good inside ball to Dixon from Tate. Dixon's in the clear, looks to the outside and finds his winger. The tackle's made well before the line, but the momentum of the tackle takes him over and he forces the ball down. Good try.
Leaves Simon Irving with another difficult crack at goal. Not the best of goal averages, but very few goal kickers would relish kicking on a day like this here at Headingley. But of course, if you can put these conversions over, psychologically they make a tremendous difference. Irving then. Oh, it's hovering there, it's there! Oh, yes! Tremendous kick from this youngster, and relief from the Leeds fans. 62 minutes gone, Leeds 12, Castleford 6. Wonderful effort there from Irving.
Yeah, a long ball out here. If we can just hold it there, we can see the space from the player to the sideline. There's a lot of space out there, and the players must go in that direction. We get an inside ball here which creates the hole, and roll it on. Everybody push to the sideline, which opened things up on the inside, and then speed and strength did the rest.
Andy Goodway there, number 14, substitute. There he is, Andy Goodway, seasoned international, had a lot of trouble with a couple of broken right arms. Only just returning to the fold. Paul Anderson. This lad Anderson beginning to do one or two charges now, John.
Yeah, well, he's had to hang on to the ball. There have been a few errors in him earlier in the game, and he gave away dropped the ball early in the piece that led to the Castleford try, but he's held on the last few tackles, and he's a big player and a young player.
And Keith England back on the field for Tony Morrison. Again, another experienced prop forward. Castleford will lose nothing by that. And a good kick there from Andy Gregory, showing all his experience, keeping the Leeds momentum going forward. Castleford now got to reply, got to move the ball around. Can't just, I don't think, John, be content with kicking it downfield, can they?
Yeah, that looked like their game plan when they came out. They were just going to rely on the kicking game, and they forgot that you've got to play a little bit of rugby league as well.
Lee Crooks. Castleford now attempting to open it out. Nick out to Stedman. This man has pace. Fisher, good support play there from Southernwood. Keith England now then, this is good from Tony Smith. Oh, good cut inside, but a tremendous tackle there from Craig Innes. But Castleford fighting back. Mick Ford, the short ball to Fisher. Oh, he's cutting through. St John Ellis. And the last tackle. Cass moving it wide. They've got a 4-5-2 here. Crooks puts the kick in. It's on Tony Iro. Kevin Iro. Well, good kick by Crooks. Would you think he would have been better employed passing the ball, John?
Well, some of those 6 tackles, the better option is to run the play, but it was a great kick. It put a lot of pressure on Leeds, and they've had to scramble back. Castleford will get the ball back, and at least now they're moving the ball around, playing a little bit of attacking rugby league.
And a kick, a drop out underneath the post, and a difficult one for Gary Schofield. He's got to try to get some length, he does. Oh, that is a good kick, very good kick into the wind. Picked up by Paul Fletcher. But Castleford with 15 minutes remaining, trailing by 12 points to 6. Leeds hanging in there in defence. Fisher. Quite a pacey second row is this Andy Fisher. Crooks. Well, that's a penalty surely. Spear tackle. Now that is a silly penalty in these conditions, because with a wind behind, this should be a comparative easy kick, John.
Yeah, it's a dangerous tackle. As we can see, they lift the player up and propel him towards the ground head first, and that's a dangerous tackle, and we don't need it in the game.
And you were only saying not long ago about discipline winning cup ties.
Well, it does, and you've got to know, you've got to know what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. It's the spear tackle are definitely out of the game.
Lee Crooks. Just needs to put this ball between the posts. No need to give it a really good thud, just direction that counts. He gets it. 2 points then to Castleford, creeping nearer. 12 points to 8 now. And of course, John, that vital try and a goal difference gone.
Yeah, it could be a big finish. It could have a big finish to the game.
13 minutes to go. The snow really coming down here now with a vengeance on these two sides. Mr. Ollerton gets play underway. Stedman, Nick Howe. Crooks, good tackle again by Malloy. Smith, that's a good ball. I don't think either of these sides will relish a drawn game, John, and another replay in midweek, will they?
No, there's a fair way to go yet, though, and I think there's plenty of rugby league left in this game, and I'm sure we'll have an exciting finish.
Tate, 12 minutes remaining. 4 points the difference. 12-8 to Leeds. Schofield. Significantly trying to get the ball to this big man. Oh, that's a bad slip. Perhaps a little bit too adventurous there from Leeds, but just look at that second half there, the territorial advantage against the wind, the dominance of Leeds.
Yeah, I think that shows that they weren't prepared to play any football at all, Castleford, and You know, they've looked much better in the last 10-15 minutes since they've started to move the ball around.
They've upped their game, John, haven't they?
They certainly have.
And moving it to Sampson. 4 tackles remaining in this sequence. Time ticking away. Lee Crooks. Desperate defence here from Leeds. Mick Ford, oh, with a good overlap there. He's got Fisher on the outside. Can he get it back to Fletcher? He does. To Anderson. Good tackle. Good cover by Leeds there. Stedman. Tony Smith. The last tackle. The chip. Well picked up by Alan Tate, but he doesn't get over that line. It's another dropout. And he takes a knock to the head for his troubles. With the referee insisting that the ball is played.
Yeah, you see Alan Tate here trying to get out of the end goal area. If he can get out, they keep the ball, Leeds, but he couldn't get out. And then he's taken a little dive there, trying to get a little extra time for his team.
Not a good kick in the face of the wind. Fletcher. Very difficult for Gary Schofield to drop out underneath the posts. Keith England. Good ball. Oh, here's a chance, but St John Ellis electing to come inside. Possibly should have gone for the corner. But still Cass. Mick Ford, 10 minutes left. Keith England, 4 metres from that Leeds line. Southernwood having a go himself to Sampson. Gets it back to Mick Ford. Not the best of passes, but picked up well by Nichow. Nichow finds himself some space on the outside. Oh, good tackle by Jim Fallon. Still, Castleford relentlessly pressing forward to the corner to Nelson. Well covered. The 5th tackle. Ford. The kick again. Picked up. Play on. Good tactics by Castleford, John, putting the little kicks over the line, because of course Leeds having to keep dropping the ball out under the post.
Yeah, they do. It wasn't a bad kick, but it hit a Leeds player. I felt the Leeds player that dived on the ball was offside in that situation.
Mercer. Ellery Hanley. Leeds looking for a big run from this man, and they get one. Well, perhaps. And Richard.
Yes, right on the Castleford bench with the assistant coach John Joyner. John, not such a good start in the second half, but looking good now. It's winnable, isn't it?
Oh, it's definitely winnable. Yes, we had a poor start. We gave too much possession away now. Our 22 actually. Yeah.
You are right. John Joyner thinks that this can still be won by Castleford.
Oh, it certainly can, and it can be won by this man. Good run there by David Nelson. And Castleford moving the ball about well now. Mick Ford. Seven minutes remaining. Just 4 points the difference. 12 points to 8 for Leeds. But it's all the pressure on Leeds. It's Castleford moving the ball well. Lee Crooks looking for support. Ford, Nichow. And the 5th tackle. Crooks looking for variety. Puts it to the corner. Well covered by Irving. Simon Irving went back just the correct distance there.
Very important 6 tackles for Leeds at the moment. They've got to use this ball, and they've got to play out a strong 6 and try and kick the ball well into the Castleford half.
They really need 1 or 2 of these big forwards pumping onto this ball. Not gained a lot of yards so far, John. Mercer. 5th tackle held, shouts referee Ian Ollerton. Schofield. That's a good kick. Play on, but the Leeds cover, John, isn't possibly as good as it could be.
No, it was a great chase, though. That's what Leeds needed. They needed the big chase, and they've come up with two very good tackles down the opposition's half.
Castleford, Lee Crooks charging forward. 5 minutes remaining. Castleford looking for 4 points to get back in this game. Graham Steadman can't get the ball away. Good tackling there by Leeds. And a nervous testing time for two coaches. Oh, good ball to Fisher. The dummy, Anderson. He's lost it. Picked up there by Andy Gregory. Gregory, the chunky, nuggety little halfback. Just look at him. He relishes this competition. Even a smile on his face. Irving. Leeds have got to hold on to this. Anderson. And Castleford desperate to get hold of the ball. He loses it. Play on. Anderson, number 15, injured, lost the ball. Smith. And referee Mr. Ollerton stops the play. Tony Anderson possibly taken a knock as he went down that pitch, possibly quite hard now. Paul Anderson. Well, I think not quite sure where he is, and looks possibly to being substituted. Good play by Crooks. Castleford, one last huge effort. Mick Ford spots the gap, gets it to Graham Steadman. Ford again. Nickow, 4 minutes remaining. Smith. Oh, been intense competition there between those two, Craig Innes and Tony Smith. The last tackle. Forward pass. Well, Castleford overrunning it again, John.
Yeah, they haven't had a very good second half, and you know, Leeds have produced the goods when they've had to. They've had to come up with a couple of big plays. They've come up with them, and you know, they look like they're going to hang on to this game and get away with it.
Well, they've got 3 minutes to hang on to it. 12-8. Andy Goodway. Possession vital. These players will be clutching at that ball. The forwards coming to the fore now with first receiver, Malloy. Leeds holding this ball. The kick. And that's a good kick, a sensible kick. Kicking on the fourth tackle there from Gary Schofield. There were no sweepers, no wingman back. Pushes Leeds 30-40 yards upfield. Intelligent play there from Schofield. Is this Castleford's last chance? Steadman. Have to move it out. To Fletcher. Again, solid tackle by Craig Innes. 2 minutes remaining. Lee Crooks never stopped battling in this match. Forward. Good tackle there by Andy Gregory. England. Crooks, this is dangerous now. Oh, well, I think the ball was knocked down by Craig Innes, but I think touch judge Tony Brown's coming on.
Yeah, I think the penalty will go to Castleford here. I think the Castleford player was held back when he went to get the ball.
Yep, and there's Jim Fallon, the man of the match for his 2 tries and some good tackles. But where will this match go yet? Still seconds remaining. Castleford on the attack.
Well, they've got 2 minutes, Ray, to pull it out of the fire.
Sampson. 12 points to 8 for Leeds. Keith England. Inside the last minute here now at Headingley. Castleford driving in. 12 metres from that Leeds line. The snow still coming down. And a penalty pulling down. But it's got to be taken. They can't really go for goal. They haven't got time. Southernwood. 5 more tackles in this sequence. Coming up to the final whistle. Stedman, the long ball to Nickow. Nickow to Fletcher. Oh, a tragic mistake. Leeds grasp that ball for dear life. Craig Innes comes up with it.
They just haven't played well enough, Ray, to win this game. They've made a lot of silly mistakes and probably relied on the wind a little too heavily. Thought that they were going to come home on the back of the wind and didn't play any rugby league.
Into injury time now, and has Leeds' huge financial outlay in recent years finally paid off with the first semi-final appearance in 7 years. They certainly have had the experience with that little man there at first receiver, and Gary Schofield. And a good kick sends Nelson back. Well into injury time now. Leeds 12 points to 8 in the lead. A minute of injury time gone. Good tackle again by Kevin Iro. All credit to Castleford. They've thrown everything at Leeds in this last 20 minutes. None more so than that man Stedman. St John Ellis gets away down this wing. Oh, picked up well by Tate. Good run by Alan Tate. Leeds surely will just want to hold this ball. 6 tackles to go through. Hanley's doing just that. Good run by Hanley. Bitterly cold day here at Headingley. Difficult for these players. But a good cut tie. It's there. There's the hooter. I don't think Steve Malloy, the Leeds number 8, heard that hooter, but the crowd certainly did. And the other Leeds players, Ellery, Hanley, James Lowes, absolutely delighted, ignoring the conditions. Tremendous match, a real battle, a test of strength, and if strength was needed, it was that man Jim Fallon who had it for the 2 tries. 2 tries taken out of nothing. But all credit to Castleford, they've given everything. I think both sets of fans can be pleased with the performance of their side. But Leeds, the worthy winners, coming across here now to this packed terracing to salute their fans. Their first semi-final appearance in 7 years, and the question is now, have they the experience to go on to the first trip for Wembley in 15 years? Paul Dixon, number 11, good strong effort from him in the second row, and good support from those fans. And Grant Anderson there just having a word with Lee Crooks and Andy Fisher. They put a lot of effort in, did that Castleford side, but it wasn't just quite enough. A disappointed Lee Crooks, but no doubt a delighted number 13 there, Ellery Hanley. And this was the try, John, that sealed it, wasn't it?
It was a great try into the wind, and they handled the ball very well. Long range try, come from 50 or 60 yards out, and they took their chances well, Leeds. They deserved to be in the semi-finals, and Castleford, they're probably, you could accuse them of playing a little bit dumb.
Yes, the draw for the semi-finals on Monday. 3 more ties tomorrow, but Leeds 12, Castleford 8.
Yeah, terrific match. We'll have both.